Welcome to another edition of Bucknell Football 93. Bob Behler along with the head coach of the Bucknell Bison, Lou Maranzana. And another big Patriot League win for Bucknell, defeating Fordham in the Bronx, 27-21 this past week. And, Coach, it was a tough day for anybody to be out on the field that day.
It was a slipping and slopping kind of day, you know, a day when offenses are generally affected, but I think in this case both offenses were able to do some things that were pretty decent. You know, I'm personally pleased, not to speak for our staff, and that we continue to play hard. We're getting better. Fordham played hard also and did some things and showed a lot of fight and spirit, gave us certainly everything that we wanted.
Were you pleased to be able to pull out a come-from-behind victory?
I was pleased to pull out a victory, and that it had to be a come-from-behind victory is what it had to be. And the big obvious things for us right now is that we are continuing to improve on the offensive side of the ball, and we're starting to get a little bit of consistency and a little bit of attitude there. On the defensive side of the ball, we felt from the beginning that we have some guys that can do some things, that can be a force in this league, and we were a little shook early in the game because they did some things better against us than we really wanted them to, but those guys bounced back and played real well and real hard in the second half.
Before we get to the highlights, let's take a look now what this does to the Patriot League, the standings. Lehigh 3-0. Lafayette was tied by Colgate, so now they're a half back, and Bucknell at 2-1 in the Patriot League, only a game behind. They'll show down with Lehigh next week. We'll talk about the Engineers a little later on in the program. But, Coach, in order for this week's game to be a big one, you had to take care of business and beat Fordham.
It was, as far as the league was concerned, certainly a must deal, and you know, Fordham got us last year, and you know, we had some payback coming from that standpoint. But more importantly, it was just important for us to get the next one, both for the league and also for us as a football team. Let's
take a look at the wet and soggy highlights from Jack Coffey Field in the Bronx. Fordham would win the toss. They'd elect to receive, and their drive would start off on a poor play. John Henry will come up with a strip football here, and then it's going to get kicked around a lot, Lou, and they would have a 22-yard loss on the play.
This looks like a foul ball going in the stands in a baseball game. People scrambling for it, and we had about 3 chances for it, and they finally came up with it here.
They end up having to punt. Bucknell gets good field position. A 3rd and 7 pass keeps the drive alive to Pete Gorski.
Yeah, Pete doing some things for us here in the backfield, playing some different combinations of characters in there. He had a decent day.
What a game for Richard Lemon, 81 yards in the first half. He had to do it for you because Craig Spencer was injured.
The key in our offense is that everybody is doing things hard and really working to execute, and Rich is certainly doing his part, and he's kind of been like a spark plug in this play.
He'll pick up his first of 3 touchdowns. If you're wondering, 5 is the record, so he was a couple of touchdowns short. Bucknell in the first possession takes a 7-0 lead. The defense played well early here. Moorhead's going to be stopped by a pair of defensive tackles, Patty and Feely. He doesn't look too comfortable running.
This is kind of a covered sack where everything's pretty much covered up, and we're able to run him down as he runs to the flank.
Good against the run on the initial drive. Ross is stopped by Zappa and company in the middle. And Bucknell gets the ball back, and you move it again on your second possession very nicely.
Right, we're doing a variety of things. One of the things that's also improving here in the offensive standpoint is that the fullbacks are both run it more effectively and also blocking a lot better.
Tough break here. Rod Gluss would get hit as he's falling down. Fordham would recover, and that would give them a little spark, and they'd go on a touchdown drive at home.
Yeah, we probably had a chance to really move out in front there. We lose the ball. They make a couple of big plays. This is one here with a crossing pattern to the tight end who does a great job of running across our coverage.
And Chris Ross ran the ball well, career high 144 yards.
Right, particularly in this first drive here. They're running straight ahead, and they're running hard here in the wet ground and doing some good things.
They tied the game at 7 with 4:04 to go in the quarter. It was Fordham's first rushing touchdown, almost a year to the date, against Bucknell back in 1992. Were you surprised they were able to run the ball as well as they did?
Well, they did. They both ran it and threw it, but we were a little surprised is not the word. We were a little dismayed and angry that we really hadn't done as good a job in the kind of the end of the first quarter, middle of the second quarter against the run, and I feel like we kind of fixed that and kind of stepped up and did a lot better as we went throughout the rest of the game.
Let's pick up highlights a little later on in the first half. Rob Gluss, will be seeing him complete some passes. He had a great day for you.
Rob continues to be very steady and workmanlike, and he's executing the offense there. He puts the ball to the second choice receiver. There's Richie, and does a good job.
Brad Bernardini was a good first-choice receiver, 4 catches for 109 yards. He continues to be a big play guy.
Yeah, he's been able to make a big play now for a couple of weeks here in a row for us.
And that was just a beautiful ball that was thrown by Gluss over the shoulder of Bernardini, setting him up on the 1. Rich Lemon with touchdown number 2. Bucknell would lead it 13-7 in the closing moments of the first quarter. And Bucknell's had some problems this year on extra points, only about 50%. I thought this might have been a key play in the game.
It certainly could have been, and it affected, you know, everything, particularly with us going in at half, 14-13.
Fordham gets a little momentum back. They continue to do well, make a couple of third down plays. That one on a 3rd and 7, Ross runs for it. And here on a big pass, McKee, a pretty good receiver for the Rams.
He does a good job of putting that in there. You can see the break of both of the defensive backs.
But your defense up to the task to force them for a short field goal.
Right, we're able to stop them on this drive, although they've moved the ball a little bit. And they make the field goal try and don't get it in this case.
Ruoff just missed wide to the left. Tough conditions again out there for passers, for kickers, for runners, for tacklers, for everybody. Bucknell couldn't get a first down. Fordham gets the ball back, and they move it back down into Bucknell territory. And this is going to be one of the better catches I've seen, a sliding catch down the left side.
Yeah, the receiver had a little leverage here, and quarterback laid it out for him, and he just kind of ran under it and kept it off the ground.
And Ross with his 2nd touchdown of the game. It'll tie the score at 13 apiece. It's now Bucknell's turn to try to block an extra point, but Ruoff would make the kick, giving the Rams a 1 point.
You can see there in the replay we had a chance there, too. We had some people in the backfield.
And you'd get a block kick later. Here are the closing moments of the half. You get a nice drive, and once again, you get down close, and unfortunately, there'd be a bad exchange.
Right. We're here in the our 2-minute drill where we're able to get the ball down and get it in position.
Great run here by Lemon.
Outstanding. He was caught there in the backfield and just kind of, they lost him there for a second. He just squirted out.
One of those exchange problems. Gluss doesn't get the snap from center, and Fordham at the intermission would lead by 1, 14-13. I was really surprised there weren't more of that in the game. It seemed like both teams did a pretty good job taking care of the ball.
I think not only taking care of the ball that way, but snapping it in the long snap situations and all the rest of that. It was a sloppy and cold day.
Can you do anything to prepare for that? Prepare for the weather? No?
No, other than to practice in it, you know, when you have an opportunity, and we've had some opportunities to do that. So, you know, other than that, you just got to go out and play, and I think the biggest thing is just not to worry about it and to play hard and enjoy getting out there in the slop. And by and large, our guys kind of like playing in a day like that.
Finally, as you leave for the locker room with the half, you're down a point. I think overall, you have to feel you outplayed.
Yeah, we know that we're doing some things that we should be able to take control of the football game. We know that we're going to have to play a little better against the run and on defense, and just continue to do some things on offense, and we'll be in pretty good shape.
A few weeks ago, we told you the story about the Browsers, 2 brothers, one playing on one side of the line, one on the other side of the line. That's an unusual occurrence in college football. But even more unusual is that 3 guys from the same high school would all end up on the same college team. Brent Herlock has the story.
In 1990 and 1991, a handful of championship high school football players graduated from Upper St. Clair High School to play college football. From this elite group, 3 opted to play for the Bucknell Bison. Mark Gentili, Andy Welty, and Mike Phillips have each had to face many challenges while at Bucknell University. However, their common background and friendship have helped them to overcome many obstacles both on the field and off. Mark, Andy, and Mike became good friends while playing for Upper St. Clair High School. In 1989, their team, led by quarterback Mark Gentili, rocketed forward to a 15-0 season, winning the Pennsylvania State Championship at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. That season held many fond memories for the 3 of them.
I was about the 4th-string quarterback about a week and a half before the season started, and all of a sudden I was just starting, and that was amazing enough. I never thought I'd be winning the state championship, and it didn't really dawn on me until about a month after the season was over. It was amazing. I mean, it's one of those things people say, you know, they can never take away from you.
It was probably the best physical, athletic experience I could possibly ask for. Some of the, you know, it was nothing compared to the confidence, and that it's undescribable how good it feels to know that every time you walk on the field, this team just cannot handle you, and you're just going to win every time.
It was an unbelievable experience. I mean, I didn't play, I didn't start, but I played some, like special teams, and got in, you know, end of the game sometimes and stuff. It was fun. You know, every game we knew we were going to win. I mean, one of our games was on the prime time. They had a Friday night game of the week on national television. And so, I mean, every game we knew we were going to win. It was a lot of fun, you know. Got a lot of exposure in newspaper and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun.
When Mark and Andy graduated from Upper St. Clair, it was only natural for the two of them to attend Bucknell together. Neither of the two, however, had any foreshadowing of the challenges that awaited them. For Mark, his big challenge came the day he decided to switch positions from quarterback to tight end. Mark explained to me his reasons for the switch.
And Coach O'Connor had asked me if, in the springtime the year before, if I'd been interested in playing receiver. Because I was scout team All-American when I was a freshman. I mean, I was the best player on the scout team, as I like to say. But I played some wide out on the scout team and some tight end, so he said, you know, I mean, if you'd like to switch your position, go ahead.
Mark's hard work and dedication to his new position have really showed itself on the field. At 6'6", he's a very visible target and was one of the key receivers for Rob Gluss in the big win over Holy Cross. In that game, Mark caught 3 catches for 81 yards, including this 44-yard reception.
Now the Bison with a 3rd down and 12. Gluss back to pass, faces a stiff rush, throws it to Gentili, makes a catch at the 45 of Holy Cross, slips the tackle, goes down the right sideline, and will be knocked out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
Andy Welty, a 6'1", 194-pound linebacker for the Bison, had his own challenge to struggle through. In spring practice of 1992, Andy suffered a hip injury which benched him for the fall '92 season.
Well, I dislocated my hip. It was a freak accident. All the doctors say it's like getting struck by lightning when you play football. They say only people get it when they get in car wrecks. I jumped over a pile, played for a fumble. My legs were sticking out the top of the pile. Someone came in from behind and kind of wishboned my leg out.
With support from Mark and Mike, Andy is back at the starting line and is proving to the coaches that he can make things happen on the field. Last week, Andy racked up a total of 7 tackles against Holy Cross. Mike Phillips, a sophomore wide receiver for the Bison, has become an important player on the Bucknell special teams. I asked Mike what it's like working your way through the ranks.
It's been tough. I mean, it was frustrating last year, and beginning of this year it's frustrating. But I mean, I'm playing a lesser role in the team, but still trying to do my, still trying to do the part that I'm assigned to.
The 3 amigos from the Bison have proven that when difficulties arise, they will support each other through thick and thin. For Bucknell Football 93, I'm Brent Herlock.
Thanks a lot, Brent. And Coach, Western Pennsylvania has been a pretty good source of talent for the Bison over the years.
Western Pennsylvania has been a popular place for us to go look, because I think in Western Pennsylvania there are a lot of people that kind of know about Bucknell and the kind of school it is and the kind of academics that we have, and know some of the things about the really good players that have come from Western Pennsylvania over the years, back through the 30s and the 40s and the 50s.
As we get ready to look at second half highlights, what do you think, if you put your finger on one thing that made the difference for Bucknell, what do you think it was?
In this football game?
Yeah, this football game.
Well, we possessed the ball and, and scored. We helped our defense with our offense until our defense really kind of came alive. And I think our offense is doing a lot better because we've got some guys that are playing with a lot more, I call it attitude, confidence. They're going out and they're whipping some folks. I'm talking about the offensive linemen. Our fullbacks are getting on folks, and whoever's carrying the ball is running hard. And Robbie has done a good job of spreading the ball around, not making a lot of mistakes, and it's starting to come together as a unit.
Let's take a look now at highlights from the second half. It didn't start off very well for Bucknell. First play from scrimmage, Richard Lemon with a fumble, and Fordham is set up on the doorstep, but your defense is up to the task.
Yeah, it's not what you'd call the picture-perfect script or scenario. We give it to them right away, but the defense steps right up, and no question, and we get it back.
Cecil Boone, the captain on defense, comes up with the blocked field goal. A little bit of a high snap, but the Bison are there, and then fall on the ball in pretty good position. Now we'll take a look at action after an exchange of punts, and we're going to see Lemon reel off 31 more yards. He rushed for 188 in the game, and I thought one of his best games. I know he's had some good ones, but I thought he really was key.
Yeah, he's running real hard, and he really, like I said, he's kind of being a spark plug for the offense.
Good run here by Rob Gluss to pick up a first down. On a 3rd and 8, he gets 9, and then the Bison will go for it on a 4th down and about 6. Down in that tough, do you go for it, do you punt, do you kick a field goal, and you had Brad out there, but a good defensive play by Mike Will.
Had everything we wanted there, and, we're able to convert. The defensive back does a great job of stripping.
Joe Moorhead on the rollout here, the 6'6" player out of Pittsburgh. Doesn't like to run too much. Dan Zappa comes up and forces and makes a tackle. Bison gets the ball back. Rob Gluss again throwing underneath to Lemon on a 3rd and 5.
Real good choice, that same kind of choice that I was talking about before, where we're starting to see the field a little bit more, go to the uncovered man.
Lemon on pace for 966 yards. If he would continue getting what he's averaging, only 3 Bucknell backs have ever rushed for 1,000 yards in the season, and he's going to pick up touchdown number 3.
The previous play, I think, was a great shot of the kind of an effort that we got from Rich. He makes a cut back, but also runs hard and runs through a couple of folks.
Bison by 5, try to get the point back on the 2-point conversion. It was out there, but the weather conditions were the big defender.
Slipping and sliding. We should have had that one.
4th quarter begins. The Bucknell defense, as Coach said, would turn themselves up a notch. Cecil Boone with sack number 4 on the year. And this is a crucial play. Brad Bernardini being Johnny on the spot to recover the fumble.
Exactly. Now the game is within a touchdown, and we're dependent on some possession, and Richie fumbles it, and Brad's right there, picks it up.
And that allows Brad himself to score on this 60-yard pass.
Exactly. We keep the ball and come back and score here in a little post pattern to Brad, and it's a different football game.
Go for 2, same play, different result.
All right. We get here in exactly the same play. This time we keep our feet. Joe makes the catch.
And it's now a 13-point lead. You lead by 2 scores. I would think with the way the defense is coming on, you had to feel pretty good with that second score, getting the lead up to 13.
Right. We want to play the game out and not do anything dumb, and make them use the field and use the clock and do all that kind of stuff at this point.
Let's pick up action in the 4th quarter right now as the Bucknell defense would seal the victory. Joe Moorhead here going to take advantage of a pass interference call. Didn't seem to me he threw a crisp ball. He threw a lot of them up for grabs.
Yeah, he threw it up, and here our corner slipped a little bit, had to come back and commit interference there to keep it from getting out of the end zone.
They did get a score. You also got a turnover. You really forced them to use a lot of time in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, we're just working hard trying to make them work for everything they get and use as much clock as possible. Here we get a 3rd and 4th down. That was a 3rd and 1, and this is a 4th and 1 where we stop them either way, but they fumbled the ball there. I think it's a little questionable as to whether or not he fumbled it.
I think he was down, and you should have had the ball at the 11, but either way,
right.
It's Bucknell ball. Here, Fordham comes up with a huge play. They stop Lemon on a 3rd and 2, and then they really get themselves back in the game with a tip punt.
Right. Here we give them a chance to tip or block the punt. Now they're back in business in more or less the same field position.
Well, and as we look at it now, I think the key, you made them go to 3 and 4 downs every time before getting a first down. You made them use up a lot of time, and they had to earn this touchdown.
All right. Our guys are working hard here. Fordham is fighting to get back in the football game. Here they make one play to kind of keep them alive for in the down and distance there for a first down. And I think this is the one where they're able to throw. Oh, yeah, it's a really good play by the quarterback where he's caught and he dumps the ball out to the outlet receiver.
Good play by Dan Zappa. There was no gain for Darren Wallace that time. Here's one in the flat to Wallace, and again, played very well. Andrew Welty on that tackle. And we're going to see a 3rd down, and they're finally going to get it on a 4th down, but by then there's going to be less than a minute to go, and they're out of timeout.
Exactly. Here they run a little delay pattern. No, this is the one before, the one in the corner, and now this little delay pattern to the tight end coming back across the field. Number 88 turned out to be a real good runner. Guy hasn't played a whole lot for him.
He caught the 38-yard pass in the first half, and then Fordham with an onside kick try down 6, but they touch it before it goes 10 yards. They couldn't touch it until it went to the 50, so Bucknell awarded the ball. Rob Gluss takes the knee, and the Bison are now 2-1 in the Patriot League with a 27-21 win.
It was a good win for us. You know, our guys have worked real hard, and a little bit of time got a little better, and had some frustration early. And right now, I think it's just very important for us to kind of enjoy the progress that we've made, certainly enjoy the winning, and each one gives us a better chance of getting the next one.
And, of course, this next one coming up is Lehigh. We'll talk about that a little later in the show. But right now, we'll pause for this timeout, and then be back and talk with our special guests, safety John Henry and defensive end Cecil Boone, as Bucknell Football 93 continues after this.
3rd and 10. Gluss back to pass, gets a couple of key blocks. Throwing long over the middle, Bernardini there. Catches it on the 30, gets to the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Brad Bernardini.
Catch the action. Feel the excitement. Experience the thrill of Bucknell football as Coach Lou Marinzana leads the Bison down the field to victory and another season of football excellence. Don't miss out on any of the action. Call the Davis Gym Ticket Office now for ticket sales and information at 717-524-3301. That's 717-524-3301. Bucknell is ready to take on the Patriot League. Are you?
So it's now second down and about 8 to go for a first down for Fordham. Moorhead back to pass. Moorhead being blitzed and sacked. Cecil Boone may have been the first to get him. As the ball is placed on the 3, Baxton and I. Phillips in motion from right to left. Russ throwing the corner route to Zabelski. This time the play works.
We're back on Bucknell Football 93, joined by strong safety John Henry and defensive end Cecil Boone. And John, your position, I think, is going to be one of the positions that's going to be on the hot spot this Saturday, coming up with Lehigh, both the defensive rush for Cecil and the secondary for you. What do you guys have to do to shut down the Engineers coming up on Saturday?
The Engineers, Lehigh, they usually have, I was talking with Coach Broussard this morning, and he said that they usually throw the short ball. So we're going to have to be very aggressive in the secondary to win this ball game, and we'll go from there. We have to make them throw the deep pass, and then we'll get it done that way.
How was it playing in the mud out there? Edge to the offensive receivers this past week?
I think so. In one of the pass patterns, I got beat on, and man-to-man, I slipped in the mud. It was very difficult. They know where they're going, and I don't know where defensive backs don't know where they're going, and it makes it very difficult.
Cecil, picking up the theme of the bad conditions, tough on the defensive lineman. Do you have much of a charge?
As far as the defensive line goes, I think it's better for us because, it allows us to get into them and then separate, where they can't get a good footing, to knock us back or to really stay on us. So it gives us a better chance to get a little separation between the two players.
On Saturday, again, we were talking with John about the big passing attack for Lehigh. What can you guys do as a front four to make it kind of a nasty day for Scott Simpson-Felter?
Pressure. Just plain out pressure, nasty. Make sure we're in his face every play.
Anything special you're going to look to do? Any type of things that you think will be successful?
Just getting to him. I mean, we have a lot of pressures in our package that allows us, to move up front, but, it'll just come out to being who wants it the most, man-to-man against an offensive tackle or offensive guard.
John, this season you've moved into the starting lineup. How has that been? Has it been a lot more difficult, I mean, as far as time-wise, practice-wise, as in the past?
Oh, yeah, it's been a lot more difficult. Last year, I didn't play really on the varsity level, and this year I can see a major difference being I'm tired a lot more. I'm tired all the time, and it makes academics a lot more difficult. But, I'm hanging in there.
In what way are you better now than you were at the start of the season, do you think?
At the start of the season, I was thinking too much. I didn't know the plays as well as I do now. Now I feel comfortable back there, and now I'm just playing football. I don't have to think. I just react, and that's worked out well.
Cecil, how's the ankle? You've had kind of a rough time in your senior year. You've been on the field, off the field, on the field through no fault of your own.
It's been kind of difficult. It's hard because last year, my junior year, I didn't feel that I had that, that productive of a year. It was more or less, I came out this summer with goals. I was here all summer long. I worked hard with Coach Thurston. He pushed me to the extreme. And then during camp, I had a little injury. An injury I thought was little, but it turned out to be a lot worse than, what it felt like in the beginning. And I was just like, I'm not going to let this set me back. I'm going to keep on, and I'm going to continue to, work hard. And, I had some good people staying on my back, making sure that Cecil Boone didn't fall into the category, of people who just allow things to happen to them and, they accept them.
Well, Cecil, I want to thank you for joining us on the show today. Best of luck. Want to see a few more sacks this week against the Lehigh Engineers. And John, we saw your fumble recovery. We want to see maybe an interception on Saturday. So best of luck to both of you against Lehigh.
Thank you.
We'll be back to talk with head coach Lou Maranzana about those Engineers. But first, this timeout.
Since 1846, scholars have come together at Bucknell to ask questions and explore answers. Inspired by the fresh spirit of the newest students and the seasoned wisdom of the faculty, this meeting of minds fosters achievement. Bucknell professors enjoy national reputations, and Bucknell students are known for their intelligence. Their lively exchanges extend from classrooms and seminars to informal meetings in faculty offices and the campus snack bar. Bucknell is a comfortable place for the tradition of the classics and the demands of today's society. The arts, humanities, and sciences thrive alongside professional programs in engineering, education, management, and music. The environment for this growing diversity and the ongoing meeting of minds is a very beautiful campus in central Pennsylvania. Bucknell's stately buildings and beautiful trees and gardens provide an ideal collegiate setting. Bucknell, with 3,300 undergraduates and over 260 faculty members who sustain the spirit that is this university and who carry it with them throughout their lives.
At Bucknell, the balance between academics and athletics is accomplished as well as it is any place in the country. In fact, recent NCAA statistics show that for the second consecutive year, the Bison led the country in the graduation rate of their student athletes.
Many factors contribute to this. The student athletes themselves, their coaches, their professors, and the administrators here, as well as the support of Bison fans. Another factor contributing to the overall athletic success at Bucknell is the work of the Bison Club, a group of interested persons whose support enhances all 26 men's and women's varsity sports here at Bucknell. Membership to the Bison Club is open to all followers of the Bison, not just Bucknell alumni.
We would invite you to join the Bison Club today and receive the Bison Roundup newsletter and stay up to date on all activities of Bucknell athletics.
For more information, write to the Bison Club in care of Bucknell University or call 717-524-1358.
The Bison go for 3 in a row on Saturday against Lehigh, and it's a crucial Patriot League game, Coach, and I guess this is exactly what you're looking for, a game that could put you in first place.
Every game is crucial for us, and, you know, this one certainly is no exception. Lehigh has, you know, been successful throughout the year. They're competitors of ours in every way, and I think for us still it's real simple. You know, we got another football game. We're going to work real hard to be improving and playing at our very hardest, and we've got great guys. They've really come together as a team, and I think we'll really go out and play a great game.
Well, Coach, thanks for being with us on the show. We'll take a look at those highlights next week. For Coach Lou Maranzana, this is Bob Behler speaking. Thanks for watching Bucknell Football 93. Remember the final home game of the season, Saturday, when Bucknell hosts Lehigh for the Patriot League lead. Thanks for watching. Hey, kids.